What's grounded, fam? It's your boy Johnny Gio. Thank you guys for tuning in. Coming at you live from the Team 12 shop. Joining me today is Quay Vision. What's grounded, homie?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, bro. I'm in awe right now, dude. I'm in awe right now.
Man, I'm seeing the setup, man. I appreciate you having me over, man. This is dope.
Dude, we got all kinds of gadgets up in this, man. I'm just like feeling like Inspector Gadget in this, and I'm just like, I'm really appreciating everything that you brought over, dude, just because it's very motivational, man. One thing I do want to talk about, just to start it off, just to get it started, I got a funny story. When I first started playing ball, you were playing ball probably, like you said, 5, 6, or 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah. Started young, man.
Dude, I started probably like at the age of 10. And my first basketball game, dog, I thought I was the shit, right? I thought I was good. I had handles. I had a cool little jumper. But so I was wide open because I had stolen the ball, but I stole the ball on the opposite side of the court. So I was on their side. And I stole the ball, I got a rebound and I stole it. And I'm open for I was probably around the free throw line. I shot the ball.
Put the ball up.
I shot the ball, but I was like this. I kept it up there, dog. I kept it up there and everybody was yelling. And I thought they were screaming to cheer, but I had made the basket in the wrong court. And I thought I was walking away I had made it, dude. I'm wondering,
it's a good moment, man. It's a good moment.
Do you have an experience similar to that in sports? That was me starting out, but I don't know if you have one, because I know you play football, basketball.
There was one experience that I can think of off the top of my head. I was in high school. So I think I was a sophomore. I definitely had to be a sophomore because I didn't play basketball my junior year. Uh-huh. So it was summer league. And I was, I'm a football player too, so I was playing both basketball and football in the summer. And I guess our coach didn't really appreciate that. He wanted me there full time.
Right.
So it was one particular game tournament that we were playing in. And I had showed up late because I had football 7-on-7 tournament that same morning. So I showed up to the game kind of late, and I feel like I was, one of the better players on the team.
Right.
Everybody kind of feels like that, but I kind of feel like I was, humbled as possible. But he had me coming off the bench, and he had me on the bench so long, and I was getting so frustrated because I felt like if he would have put me in, we would have won that game. So he sat me out the entire first quarter. He put me in the second quarter for a few minutes and sat me back down. I'm like what's the deal, right? So I'm on the bench, just blood boiling. Mind you, I'm a sophomore. Mm-hmm. So he puts me back in. I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do something stupid just because I'm not. He probably gonna take me out again anyway. So he puts me back in the game. I steal the ball. I'm on a fast break. Mm-hmm. Never dunked in a game before ever. So I fucking tried it. I did it in practice a few times. It wasn't necessarily clearing it really easy, but if I, got the right bounce, got the right approach, I can clear the rim and get that thing in. So I was pissed. I don't know who the fuck I thought I was. I felt like Jordan. so I got this steal, fast break by myself. I went up, cocked back hard.
Vince Carter
style. Got it over the rim. Tried to dunk it as hard as I could. Hit the back iron, bounced up, and it broke a light in the gym, bro. Yeah, I didn't play the rest of that tournament.
Dude, did you guys have to stop the game for that? It's like a broken rim almost. You brought the house down.
Yeah, so there was a bunch of glass on the floor, so they had to come in and kind of sweep it up. So it was like a 10-15 minute delay, but
Dude, that's a dope ass story, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's kids today that says I hit the front iron and I got hung, but that's not how I remember it. I'm gonna tell the story how I'm gonna tell it. I hit the back iron and it bounced up. That's my story. I'm sticking to that.
Yeah, bro, sure you're right.
So man. Yeah, man, that was one of the more. I don't even say it was embarrassing. It was because it was just whatever, but. That was one of the more interesting moments in sports that I've had.
Bro, that was a dope ass story. Well, all right, so I wanna share one more of me just because I feel like I need to share it at this moment. So I was probably 12 years old, and I was actually scoring the basket where I was supposed to.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And you figured it out.
Yeah, I figured it out after that first game because man, it was embarrassing. So it was a countdown, 5 seconds left. We were down by 2 points. And I did this behind the back crossover step back. There was two people on me. I shot the three, bro. and I made the jumper when the clock ended, but the ref said that I had run out of time. I already ran out. I had already ran out the gym. Like, ooh,
got your little victory lap.
Bro, the other team was just like, that was sick. They were giving me props, and then the ref was over here like, no, and I was just like, what?
Oh man.
Even the parents from the other team were just like, dude, just give it to him, and she didn't. But that was my moment where I was just like, shit, like.
Hey man, it counted in your head, right? That's all. That's all that matters.
It did. It really did, dude. In my eyes, I got a buzzer beater. You know what I'm saying?
That's all that matters. You had your Kobe moment. Don't let them take that away from you, bro.
R.I.P. Kobe, man.
That's a buzzer beater, man. Yeah, keep that with you. So one more story. So since you tell that one, I'll tell one more. So let's get it. This one's kind of a funny story. It's not really embarrassing to me or anyways. But my freshman year in high school on the basketball court again, we're playing South Pass, South Pasadena. So I was. Okay, mind you, we're this freshman team. All freshmen are on the court. I'm only one of the youngest players on the court, right? So, I guess we were dominating them so much. It was at like halftime. We were up by like 15, 20 points. I had like damn near 30 points myself at the half.
Beast.
And there was this one play where the ball was going out of bounds, and I saved it with one hand. And in midair, turned around and threw it back in, and it hit one of the players' perfect stride right into the basket for a layup. The other coach stopped the game and demanded to see my birth certificate because he didn't think I was a freshman.
What?
Come to find out, I'm the youngest player on his team. Like, everybody on his team was older than I was by like months and shit. So I thought that was kind of funny. So that kind of set the standard for the rest of my high school career. I thought I was a shit after that.
Bro, I'm trying to hoop with you now, dog. I'm trying to get you in some...
Those days is long gone.
Bro, I'm trying to get you in some adult leagues that I've been real quick. I got to... Bro, he could almost dunk.
Hey, man, adult leagues is fun, though. I used to play a couple of them on Boy, and we used to have a lot of fun with those. So if you're serious about that shit, I'm super down for some adult leagues.
Yeah,
I need that cardio.
We're gonna have to talk about that for sure. But all right, so as you know, on this podcast we express vulnerability and whatnot. But this is gonna be a different kind of episode because even though you don't drink and you don't smoke, you don't necessarily consider yourself an alcoholic or an addict, right?
Right.
So tell the world what that promise was that you made to yourself early on.
Yeah, because we had this conversation, right? So I think back when I had to be like in the 4th, 5th grade. And I just remember, like, a lot of times I was watching a bunch of ESPN at that time, idolizing these athletes and wanting to be like them and shit. So it got to a point where I was seeing so many athletes getting busted for smoking weed or getting busted for DUIs and drinking and all that other stuff. And I had a couple uncles, actually. I had one uncle that he tried out for the Los Angeles Clippers at one point. And I think he had a unfortunate knee injury that kind of ended his career. And I had another uncle that played for the Buccaneers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, believe it or not. Yeah, and he was a fucking track star. He was like a fast and god athlete. He ended up getting a girl pregnant, and then he started drugs, alcohol, life, complete U-turn, and just went the opposite direction. And out of jail ever since, shit like that. So I've seen that growing up. Another one of my cousins gotten mixed up in the gang violence. He was also a dope athlete. And then he got kind of caught up in doing some bad things with some bad people, and he ended up thrown in jail for life. And I just seen all that growing up, and I'm just like, damn, I don't want the reason I don't make it to be because of drugs, alcohol, or gang violence. And being surrounded by that from my cousins, friends, people in the community, uncles. It was just really hard not to get into that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it was fortunate for me because my mom had took me out of the school that I was attending around like the 1st or 2nd grade and put me into a different school on the other side of town, predominantly white. And I bullshit you not, that probably changed my life. So I'm sitting there in class one day as a 4th grader, 5th grader, whatever it was. I had my binder, my notebook, and I had just seen a story on ESPN about some athlete getting busted with marijuana or something like that. And I wrote in my binder, I don't know what got me to do this. I don't know what kind of frame of mind I was in at the time, but I wrote, if I don't make it, it's not going to be because of drugs and alcohol. From that day forward, I never touched it until I turned 21. And that's when I had my first real taste of alcohol.
Right. Now, I know that you drank a couple times, but it was probably just like in your birthday and stuff. So it wasn't anything crazy like that.
Right.
What I want to know though is like, what was at that point in time? What was your idea of like making it? You know, because we set standards pretty high for ourselves at an early age, and somewhere along those lines, shit, we fucking come down to reality.
Yeah. Well, you know, being in the sports realm, I've always wanted to either be in the NFL or the NBA. Mm-hmm. So at the beginning, it was because of that. You know, making it to a professional level, because, you know, being young and being a kid, you always have those big ambitions. You know, I'm going to play in the NBA one day. I'm going to play in the NFL one day, mind you. And it started off with just that, you know what I'm saying? So when I made that promise to myself, that just lighthearted promise as a young kid, it was just strictly to try to get to the NFL, to get my family out of poverty and try to, you know, make it so I can help people, as many people as possible. So that's what started. And, you know, going through all that, I went through all through high school, never touched drugs, alcohol, never even smoked a cigarette.
That's tough.
Graduated high school, went to college in Arizona for a small stint, ended up getting hurt. Even in college, bro, it's funny because I went to Arizona, known for a party school, right? So we used to, or known as a party state, just mind you, because there ain't shit else to do in Arizona but just like go to school and play sports in the fucking desert, hot as shit. Yeah, everybody getting drunk, girls half naked and crying. Yeah, it's just crazy. So sounds
like a party.
Yeah, so it was in college, even going to parties and shit. It's funny because I used to like have these you know, people you walk around with alcohol in a cup. I used to put apple juice in my cup and pretend it was like beer. So I'm just walking around sipping apple juice and acting drunk and shit just to try to fit in. You know, kind of stupid, but I mean,
that's a good strategy.
Yeah, bro. But I was a freshman. And I just really wanted to fit in with that type of crowd, and it seemed like the only way to do that was to like be a part of their lifestyle, right? So I started doing that as a freshman, and then one day I just realized, I was like, dude, I don't have to pretend. I can just be me, and just like, if they don't like it, they don't like it, right? But it took me a while to get to that point. But then, long story short, my stint in college got cut way too short. My freshman year, had a couple injuries, tore a bicep tendon in my throwing shoulder.
Wait, you were a quarterback?
I was a quarterback.
Ooh, damn.
So I played QB, and then I went up there, got hurt, fucked up my shoulder. Some other things happened where some scholarship issues that I thought I had a full scholarship, ended up being a partial scholarship. Got sent packing basically because you know, I just couldn't afford to kind of stay there and be in school, out of state fees and all that. So I came back home, and that was one of the lowest points of my life. So not necessarily dealing with addiction, but dealing with the addiction of needing to be in sports and needing to always try to be that role model to the community. And when I came back, man, I was defeated. I was defeated, bro. Like, and that's putting it lightly. I didn't want to be seen outside because, you know, when I was in high school, you know, everybody was like, "Oh man, you gonna make it." You know what I'm saying? You're the one, and you're the golden child, blah blah blah, and you're gonna be the one that kind of
so
goes.
Much pressure, bro.
It was a lot of pressure. But you know, I felt like I could handle it. But you know, coming from that and then coming back home with no degree, haven't played on even TV yet because, you know, I got hurt so early. And it was just devastating, man. Like, my little brother at the time was going through his freshman year in high school. And I didn't even want to go to his games. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, I was at that point, you know. It's like, but it's my little brother. Dad cussed me out, you know, a couple times. He was like, man, your little brother always coming and support you, blah, blah, blah. You got to come to his games. So I was just like, you know what, I'll go. I used to always sit way at the top of the bleachers, hat down low, you know, sunglasses on, so nobody would see me and ask that question of what happened, you know what I'm saying? So that was a devastating question to answer. But, you know, other than that, I eventually got over it and started doing other things. So
what was the challenges you had to face after that, like your rock bottom per se? Because I know for me, I had an incident where I had told you, we went to like the invitational championships for a basketball game, and I was averaging, I don't know, 10 to 15 points, but we lost by like 15 points, and I scored 0, bro. So after that game, I think that's when I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm just going to go to alcohol. And I mean, I was always partying, but that made me, along with other stuff, it just accumulated, and that kind of, really hit me hard. So how were you able to maneuver? I know that promise really, like, to yourself kind of like motivated you, but at that point, like, how did you find it in you to say no like that? Like, and what were the biggest challenges?
A lot had to do with it was just because I just never really had a acquired taste for alcohol. Anything that I drank beer wise, all beer tasted the same to me. It was just bitter and just weird tasting, so I never wanted to do that. And then hard liquor was just one of those things where I didn't like the way it went down. I didn't like the way I felt after, when I was 21 and I tried it for the first time. I didn't like all that stuff. And then I seen when people, because I didn't even talk about this, but I used to work at a bar when I had 21 years old. I started working at a bar, and I seen what it did to people. So that even turned me off of it even more, to see people coming into the bar and getting stupid drunk and then not remembering anything from that night. Like, if I were to go out and do something and have a good time, I want to remember every little detail so I can cherish that moment, right? So if I'm stupid drunk and I pass out, or if I'm tipsy and I don't remember shit and I wake up the next day, I'm like, what the fuck happened last night? I never want it to happen to me, you know what I'm saying? Because I like being in the moment. I like making memories.
Of course.
So if I'm doing that and alcohol is getting in the way, and then I just didn't think that was like a viable option for me, you know what I'm saying? And there was another thing too. It was just kind of like, for me, I had friends where they said, oh, I need alcohol to kind of have a good time, to kind of let loose and just like be me. And I've always looked at it as like, if I don't necessarily need alcohol because I don't necessarily have a dull personality. Right. So it's like, if I ever do something, ever make a decision, whatever, I want that to be because I was completely sober and I was in the right mind frame. Right. Not to say that always going to be the right decision, but I know from that, and then I can like hone that in and be like, okay, that was a bad decision. Learn from that and let's keep it moving. So that was just one of those things where I was just, discipline, just keeping myself honest and just knowing who I was and knowing that wasn't the lifestyle that I needed to be in.
Did you have any sort of mentors in a sense? I want to speak on this a little bit because even though I did kind of wild out, I know that I still remembered a lot of shit that my high school basketball coach would tell me, certain principles, and then especially when it comes to working as a team and stuff like that. So do you attribute like a part of that, not drinking and falling out to like, coaches or anything like that, any sort of mentors?
100%, man. There's been so many mentors coming up from the time that I was 6 years old, very first starting, till college. You know what I'm saying? So when I first started off, I played football. Football was my very first sport that I ever tried out for. I was at the football field playing around with some of my friends. I think I was like 5 years old at the time. Shoes on the wrong foot. 2 sizes too big because I was wearing my cousin's shoes, hand-me-downs type thing. And I was running around, and the flag football coach saw me, and he was like, hey, man, you want to play football? And I was like, yeah. I'm 5 years old.
Right.
Of course I want to be a part of something. So I was actually too young to play at that time. But that coach kind of like, bent the rules a little bit and kind of manipulated some things. And I ended up playing 4 straight years of flag football because I started 2 years early. Wow. So, and his name was Lorenzo. Shout out to Lorenzo. But yeah, man, he took me under his wing. So I used to spend the night at their house. And he had 2 boys himself that played. So became really good friends with them. And I was always at his house. And he kind of like really mentored me, took me under his wing. And he kind of like was that first father figure that I had that kind of guided me and showed me sports might be the way. Then the second guy, I was a 4th, 5th grader in elementary school, and people were trying out for the school's basketball team. And I necessarily wasn't going to try out at that time because I just, wasn't really feeling it. And somebody told me to try out because the coach is really good. And his name ended up being a coach named Neil Dominguez, which one of the best coaches I've ever had throughout my whole career. So he really gave me that love for basketball that I still have to this day, right? So when I joined his team, I wasn't really that good. He kind of like took me under his wing as well and just kind of mentored me and just kind of helped me develop along the way. And I ended up becoming a really, really good basketball player, always being the captains of his teams and just taking that as far as I could basketball wise. So he was another really, really big influence on me. And then from there, I got to high school. So another influence. So I played Pop Warner for the Doherty Hawks all throughout the Pop Warner years. And there was one coach, Donnell Walls. Shout out to Donnell Walls. But he got me to make one of the biggest decisions in my life because I grew up in Doherty.
Okay.
And I was destined to go to Doherty High School. All my cousins went to Doherty High School, known for the gang violence, the drugs, and all that stuff. So I can't really say, but if I felt like if I went to that school, I probably would have had a completely different outcome.
Oh, man.
In the way that I kind of was brought up, because really, really easy to get influenced there. So he kind of like came to my house and he coached me like when I was a 6th grader or 8th grader before I went to high school. And he sat my mom down. He was like, you need not to take this kid. Do not put him in Doherty High School. He was like, put him in Monrovia. He can use my address.
Wow.
So I used his address for the entire 4 years that I was there.
That's incredible, bro.
And he was on my ass all 4 years. I remember I think I was a junior and my progress reports came out and I was kind of failing some classes a little bit. It's like junior year, I was piling on the credits and I was taking this crazy fucking amount of classes, hard classes. And I had like a 1.8, the lowest grade point average I've ever had in my life.
Oh, I feel that.
He got a hold of it before anybody else did. And there's this thing at Monrovia High School. We're walking back into the parking lot, and
we're dry snitching on
I'm walking back into the parking lot. The school just let out, and the back of the parking lot is where all the students park. So it's crowded right there. I can see him standing there with a piece of paper in his hand, not thinking nothing of it. He ain't looking for me.
Yeah.
This man cussed me out in front of the entire fucking school. It felt like.
Damn.
Embarrassed the shit out of me, and I was just like, fuck. He even threw it out there. He was like, man, how the fuck you got 2 fucking Fs and blah, blah, blah. You got a 1.8 grade average. You the fucking star of the football team. You ain't gonna be able to play with this. And I'm just like, oh shit, this is real. Like, this is
love, though,
real.
bro.
No, man, at that time, I hated him for it. I was like, how the fuck you just gonna like put me out in front of you? You couldn't put me aside. But I think him doing that really had to set me straight and like put me on that straight and narrow, because I was just like, damn. Not only am I letting myself down, I'm letting other people. Like, that's when I first realized, like, I'm really letting other people down. Because he stuck his neck out for me. He got me to this school, and to like, hopefully give me a better chance to try to make it. And I'm sitting here squandering it, fucking up, and not really. And not saying I wasn't fucking up just because I was like, I'm the shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough.
Class was just really difficult, man. I was taking
distractions.
I was taking some crazy classes around that time, and luckily, I had like 2 or 3 weeks to pull up my grades, and luckily my teachers, helped me out and gave me some extra credit assignments. I ultimately pulled it up to like a 2.2 or something like that in order to play for the season. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then from there, my senior year, and my dad was always on my case too about my grades. And my senior year, I ended up being a double scholar athlete in both football and basketball. So kind of turned that around. So yeah, man, it was that was a big eye-opening experience, man.
That's dope, dog. I think that's tough love, but I think that was definitely needed.
Oh, definitely.
How did being in sports and having mentors, how does that carry on over until like the life outside of sports? Like, what's the number one thing you take away from that? Is it discipline? Is it camaraderie? Like, what is it from sports that you carry on to your day-to-day life that is just like, this is really important to me?
It's definitely the discipline. Discipline, the work ethic goes, it kind of goes hand in hand. But like every college paper that I've written, every high school paper that I've written about, what influence, it's always sports related.
Yes.
Because those are the biggest life lessons for me. And sports have taught me so many life lessons, from leadership skills to communication skills to, just teamwork and all that other different kind of things that come with sports. You know what I'm saying? So I attribute a lot of who I am today from sports. 100%. Absolutely. If it wasn't for sports, I honestly can tell you I don't know where the fuck I'd be right now.
Right on.
Nowhere. Especially coming from the places that we came from. And it's crazy because I didn't even tell you this. Like, I grew up in Doherty, California. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. It's my grandmother's house. So it was my grandmother, my mom, an auntie, an uncle.
Yeah.
Me, my little brother.
Ooh.
My auntie had 4 kids.
Nice.
So all 4 of them were there. And then
Yeah.
2 other girls that were also my cousins. So total, it was 8 kids under the age of 18. 4 or 5 adults. And there was a back house too where my uncle stayed, and he had his little setup.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that was growing up. You know what I'm saying? All that people in one house, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom. 1 bathroom, all those fucking people. So you know the fights were crazy.
Yeah, that's rough.
And it's crazy, man. My grandmother is a fucking saint. She slept on the couch, bro. Damn. All throughout my fucking childhood, damn near. Me, my mom, my little brother, we had our own room. My auntie's 4 boys, they had their own room. The 2 girls slept in the den. They set up some bunk beds in the den. And then there was another couch down there where my other uncle slept kind of occasionally. And that's how we fucking rocked, man.
Hey, you made it happen, man. You made it work one way or another. That I had a similar story just like that. I was with my mom. She was a single mother, but it was only a 1-bedroom house. And my cousins would come over from Mexico, like three of them. And we didn't have our own room. So we all laid out, all 8 of us, on the floor in the living room. And it was fun for us. Like, we just fucking put all the blankets out. But we did that all the way up until, like, maybe high school almost, bro.
Yeah.
Because it was tough growing up like that. So I really resonate, and thank you for sharing that. Now let's talk about how Quay Vision lives now. Like, I know you're a type of dude that you like to capture memories. So let's get into how you capture memories, bro.
Yeah, so just going back a little bit, the whole Quay Vision thing is still pretty new for me, for like everybody that knows me. Because if anybody knows me, first thing they'll probably think of is Quay Fit, right? Because like I was a personal trainer ever since I left high school, or ever since I left college. When I got back home from college, I started training. My little brother was my first client. From there, I started training his friends. From his friends, I started training a couple parents. From parents, bloomed into a whole Quay Fit personal training business.
Nice.
That I kind of grew and carried on for like 10 plus years, 10, 11 years. And then quarantine, the pandemic hit.
Oof.
Gym shut down. And also moved from Pasadena to Irvine.
It's not.
Thinking that I was going to, build up my clientele in Irvine and continue on that personal training thing. And it just so happened that all that shut down, and I already had started getting into the video realm a little bit. So the reason that started was because my personal training brand, I needed videos to kind of market myself, just like every business.
Right.
I was searching around trying to find people to help me do videos because I didn't know shit about videos. I didn't know shit about cameras. You just put a camera in front of me, I'm like, whoa, right?
Damn,
like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
I know exactly what that feels like.
I was definitely there 2.5 years ago. So it got to that point, and then I was like, you know what? I can't find anybody that I do find that's good. It's just too expensive. And then my boy, Jason, he really got me into it. And he was helping me do some videos. And then I just, he was actually helping me doing them for free and whatnot. But he started getting busy with his other jobs and just started taking off with that. So I was like, damn, I don't have anybody to help me do videos now. So what I did was I was like, all right, so I'm going to start. I whipped out my phone. I had the iPhone at the time. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to take some videos of my clients. I had the iMovie app on my phone.
Yep.
Edited through there. And videos came out kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I started getting better at that. Yeah. And people were like, yo, who's doing your videos? Like, these are kind of dope. And I was like, I am. And they're like, oh, what camera are you using? And I was like, the iPhone. Like, how are you editing them? I was like, iMovie on my iPhone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I look back at those videos now and they were absolutely trash. now doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, man, it's crispy. Man.
But people, and then like I wanted to start taking it to the next level. So I walked into Best Buy again, not knowing shit about camera gear. So I asked the dude, I'm like, yo, I'm trying to shoot some fitness videos and my clients and whatnot. I just need something point and shoot type of thing. So he sold me a Sony A6000 with a 35 millimeter lens, just kind of like the one you have. And took that, started shooting with it. I was like, oh, this shit is pretty dope. And then I took one of my other homies and a fellow trainer that was in the gym named Jamil at the time. And he got my camera and he was like testing it out. He was like, "Oh man, this shit is trash." Like, what the fuck you talking about, man? I just dropped like $1,000 on that thing. Like, what you mean it's trash? What should I have gotten, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
then,
oh my god,
he started getting into the camera gear. So I was starting like learning from him a little bit, and then I started to like up my game. Bought a new camera, and then crazy enough, this company out in Irvine called Millennial Media Group. They hit me up, saw some videos that I did. They hit me up and wanted me to do some work out in Irvine. So that ultimately the reason why I moved out to Irvine with my girl Stephanie, and went out there, was doing a bunch of videos for them. Shit was going really good. I started to like phase out of the fitness thing, and then the pandemic hit. So I had to stop fitness cold turkey. And then with the Millennial Media Group, shit started to fizzle out, and I wasn't really liking some of the back end shit that was going on.
Right.
Never really expressed it. I just kind of like let my emotions just kind of like shut me out.
Right.
And that ended. And then I was just like, all right, what the fuck I'm going to do now? I'm not training. I'm not working for any video company. And was the birth of Quay Vision. All right. So then I was just like, you know what? I can do this shit myself. So I started fucking just hitting up my homies and just started offering to do free videos for them. My boy Pug's Pantry, shout out to Pug's Pantry. If y'all looking for some dope fucking LA food, make sure y'all go hit up Pug's Pantry.
Shout out right there.
He is amazing at what he does.
I'll leave the link in the description too.
Leave the link in the description. He's from Atlanta. He's like soul food chef.
All right.
Fucking the best fucking soul food.
I'm with it. I'm down.
So definitely y'all go check him out. But yeah, so I started doing a bunch of his YouTube videos. We started a whole YouTube series of, he was doing tutorials on how to cook food.
Nice.
So I started doing those. I started getting better. And then from that, I started doing some other things. And then work just started to gravitate. And then I was at one of Pug's Pantry shoots doing one of his pull-ups, because he does these pull-ups. And Jim was there, owner of Baylor.
Shout out to Jim Hernandez.
Shout out Baylor Fitness, man. So he was there, and that's how we first linked up. Met him, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, you do videos, blah blah blah." And he seen the video that I was shooting. It came out, and then he hit me back up. He was like, "Yo, I got a shoot coming up. I want you to take some BTS video." So I went out. It was like at USC. He liked the video, and then that's when the birth of Baylor Fitness came into play. So
nice.
I started doing all their photo shoots, their video shoots, and then just recently, this last video shoot is where I met you.
Yeah,
so
that's where we met.
Kind of crazy how like things just kind of come full circle. Now I'm sitting here doing your podcast, which I'm super honored, by the way. Thanks for having me.
The honor is all mine, man. I swear, it's just super dope.
So yeah, man, that's been the last 2 years, and I'm growing steadily. To this day, I still have never put out a single piece of advertisement, just because I'm at that point where I'm just trying to like learn as much as I can. And before I start trying to put out put out advertisements to try to brand myself to get more business, I want to make sure I'm like perfecting everything that I'm going to be doing. And coincidentally enough, man, I'm getting busy. Like I'm crazy busy right now, getting booked up with like shoots. I'm doing a lot of real estate shoots. I'm doing doing a lot of the fitness photo shoots, and just like even got connected with a couple lawyers out in Irvine and doing some of their content and their videos, man. And it's just been it's been crazy. It's been fun, though.
I see you putting in work, man. Those videos come out super nice, man. Damn. Super nice. By the way, I'm also going to leave the link in the description to your Instagram. Do you have like a website or anything? Or
yeah, Instagram's Quay Vision, all one word. The website is quaypots.com. Super easy, QUAYPOTTS.com. Still kind of building that thing out, but that's to kind of get a basics. You can find my contact info on there. You can, kind of see some of the reels that I've done. But yeah, man, Instagram is one of the biggest platforms that I'm on currently. That's where all my pretty much stuff is, and I'm on a daily too. So if y'all want to hit me up,
trust and believe. Like his
Instagram.
Pictures, the videos are fire. I'm gonna leave the link in the description just in case if you guys didn't catch that. But I want to ask you another question, because you talked about the transition, like with the quickness because of the pandemic, bro.
Yeah.
You transitioned from Quay Fitness to Quay Vision, and I know you kind of had to do that. You had that pressure, and people in recovery, like let's say you got a couple some time, let's say you got like 2 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of us, we really don't want to stick to like that 9 to 5 being the system type of deal anymore. So like, what is your recommendation, or like what is some advice you have for people that are trying to really trying to become entrepreneurs, or just try to start their own business or do their own thing?
So here's my take on the whole entrepreneurship, right? Everybody on this planet, if you have a pulse and you're working, you're making money, you're earning money for yourself, you're already an entrepreneur.
Oh,
right. So entrepreneurship is a mindset. It's not necessarily what you do. So let's say hypothetically, let's say you're working for a job. Let's say you've got a job at Walmart. Mm-hmm. You go in for an interview. You're branding yourself to the employer for them to hire your services.
Right.
That's an entrepreneur, bro. So what I do, I brand myself to try to make other people hire me to do their videos, do their pictures, do their content. Walmart is reaching out to me, or like I'm reaching out to Walmart to try to see if I can get hired. But that whole interview process is me marketing myself to Walmart to get them to hire me for a job. Mm-hmm. And I do that job and they pay me compensation. So technically you're already in that entrepreneurial world. Just shifting until like just doing it completely on your own is scary, but it's one of those things which you're already doing, right? So anybody that's looking to get into that space, that entrepreneur space, and be like a real business owner and trying to do their own thing, it's just getting over that fear, right? So it took me a really long time to get over that, but just find what you love to do. And we were talking about it earlier. Like, you just got to do it, man.
Yeah.
There's really no way around just doing it. Because I promise you, if you're doing it for the right reasons and your heart's in the right place, you will be okay.
I heard that.
You will be okay. Like, just weather the storm. And a lot of people, they try to, like, they have a weird mindset when they try to become entrepreneurs and they get into that I own my own business space. Mm-hmm. Because everybody's thinking about the money and the upside. And yes, the money and the upside is very high. There's no ceiling to how much money you can earn when you're working for yourself. Mm-hmm. That is true. But if you're going in thinking that, you're not going to make it. You're going to fail because your mind is not in the right place. If you're whatever you're trying to do, I don't care if you want to be a fucking Ninja Turtle. You figure out how to be the best Ninja Turtle this world has ever seen. Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to hire you to put you in a movie, bro. I guarantee you. Some Hollywood producer is going to get inspired. Like, I need to make a movie with this dude in it, right? So that's like a really weird example, but I'm just kind of giving that example to, like, anything you want to do in this life, you can do.
Yeah. You
just have to do it. So it's just, it's just one of those things, man. It's just, getting over that fear, one. And honestly, and my advice to combat that is to slow play it a little bit. Mm-hmm. You have your 9 to 5 job or whatever kind of job that you're working, and you have ambition to do something else. Start doing it slowly, right? Go to work for 5 to 8 hours a day, whatever it is. Come home, put an hour towards that dream. And then you keep doing that every day and you start getting more and more. You have your backup with your job. And then at some point, you're starting making money with your side business. And then you make a little more. And then the money from your job can support your side business. Keep going. And eventually, your business is going to be at the same level. And then you got to make a decision.
Right.
I'll tell you the decision that I made. Because I was working at 24 Hour Fitness as a front desk. I wasn't even a trainer yet. Working at 24 Hour Fitness when I was like 18. And I was also... I was there for like 2 years, 3 years. And then once I turned 21, I got a job at Barney's Beanery. So I was working at 24 Hour Fitness.
You might have seen me blacked out over there.
Yeah, probably. So I was a bouncer for a long time.
You probably dragged my ass out one day.
Yeah, so I had those 2 jobs, and I was also training, getting started in my training business. Mm-hmm. And I was training, I had like 2 clients around that time, right? So I quit my 24 Hour Fitness job. And I was solely focused on the Barney's job because I was pulling like 4 days a week, working like 6 hours and 6 hours a night, making pretty good money. Still staying with my parents, so that helped a lot.
Yeah.
And then I was working my training business on the side. Get a client here and there, start training, get better. When you start something, you're terrible at it until you get better. Right. That's okay. You're supposed to be terrible. You're going to be terrible when you first start.
Yes.
Don't let that deter you. But you keep going. You're going to make mistakes. You keep going. And then the Barney's Beanery job was just keeping me afloat. And then I got to a point where I moved out of my parents' house, got my own apartment, still had my Barney's job. And now it's like I'm really relying on my Barney's job because that's paying rent now.
Right,
like,
right.
I got rent every month now. So now I got to like, and then it took one of the trainers in the gym. He was like actually the owner at the time. He was like, dude, if you quit your Barney's job, your training business is going to take off. And at that point, it was kind of like, it was getting to that even point, right? He was like, trust me, bro, quit your training job. Quit your bar job, focus on training. Your fucking shit's going to take off. I was skeptical as hell. It took me probably a year to quit my Barney's job because I just needed, I was relying on the income so much. Yeah. But at the same time, I kept building my training business. I was like, all right, if I get to this number a month in training, I'm going to quit my job. I get to that number, I was like, ugh. All right, if I get to this number, I'm going to quit my Barney's job. I was like, ugh. So it came to a point where I was just like super, super busy with my training. And I was like, yeah, I can't keep waking up, going to work at Barney's from 8 p.m. to 2 o'clock in the morning and trying to wake up for 7 a.m. clients.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I quit my job. Scariest moment of my life. That next month, I made 10K in training.
Damn.
And I was averaging probably, like 3 or 4K before that. That next month, I don't know how the fuck it happened, but I made 10K in my first month purely just training. And from there, it just kind of took off. I got up to like, I was managing 35. The most clients I managed at one time was about 35.
That's incredible, bro.
So
that really is incredible. Now I'm gonna ask you one last question before you take off. But I'm gonna ask you two, dog, because I really want to ask you this. So I feel like you mentioned, finding something that you love to do, and also I think in my eyes it's also like finding like your purpose in life.
Yeah.
In your opinion, how do you go about that? The reason I ask is because I personally think that in our darkest moments, like the darkest stuff that's ever happened to us, we're so attached to that, and we could somehow flip that and turn it into something positive. Mm-hmm. We are so emotionally attached to that we become passionate about helping others in that sense, that can drive you. And let's say that may not be the purpose, but it's going to attract other things along the way. Yep. So what would be your opinion on that?
So I have an interesting perspective on this. Because people ask me all the time, like when I was training for 10 years, right? People will say like, oh yeah, training is your passion. It's not. Training is not my passion. Anybody that does a job, let's say you're I don't know, what's the occupation? Let's say you're a doctor. People are like, oh, your passion is medicine. I doubt it. And I would go back and question that, because I don't think that's your passion. When you really boil down to it, my passion is helping people. Passionate about helping people. Fitness at the time was just a vehicle for me to do that. Right. So I challenge everybody. It's like, when you really thinking about what your passion is, dig a little deeper. It's like, just because you love fitness doesn't mean that's necessarily your passion. It's your passion if you just do training for free and not worry about getting compensated. That's a passion. Yeah. All right, just because I'm gonna just go play football. I don't care if I'm gonna get hurt. It's like a lot of kids that I kind of played with, they started playing adult football in these adult leagues. You don't get paid. You don't have insurance. They're passionate. Big risk. That's a passion, bro. Yeah. And I get paid. They're just out there for the fun of the game. That's fucking passion. Right. So when people say it's like, oh yeah, my passion, because there's people out there. There's a dude out there making $1 billion selling bottle caps, like making bottle caps. You think his passion is making bottle caps? No, his passion is probably providing a need to the community. People need bottle caps. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he discovered something. There you go. Yeah, and that's what I always tell people. Is like, people are like, oh yeah, I'm passionate about this, but it's like that's not really a passion. Dig a little deeper. Truly find what your passion is. If you like helping people, find a way that something that you're good at that will feed that passion. My passion is helping people. I've always loved helping people. And fitness was one of the ways that I was doing it for a really long time. Now I'm doing it helping other people, small businesses look really good with videos and photos. So my passion is to help other business owners make dope content. So that's a passion of mine.
Bro, thank you for sharing that, man. Yeah. I really like the way you explained that. All right, so here's the question before I let you go.
All right, last question.
So I believe there's 3 things in life that are guaranteed, and they're actually marked in our gravestone. Our birthday, the day we pass, there's a dash right in the middle. That represents the life we led. What do you want to be remembered by when you're gone?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't believe it or not, I think about this a lot.
You do?
I think about it a lot, man. The one thing that I want to be remembered for is just the type of person that I was to people. When people think of me in any type of light ever, if my name comes up, I want them to be like, you know, if whatever opinion they have of me, like, that was a good dude. Like, he was genuine in everything that he did. He was nice. He was helpful. And I want my legacy to be that. I just want my legacy to be how much of a caring person that I was, or try to be. You know, nobody's perfect.
Right.
But I try to help and do as much good as I possibly can while I'm here. Overly nice all the time, super generous in everything that I do. That's why I like, you know, coming here earlier and helping you set up and show you all this shit.
So thankful, man.
That shit like that makes me, that shit drives me. When I get to show people something that I'm passionate about and they get that equal, you know, type of fulfillment out of it, that's kind of who I want to be remembered. He took that guy took the time out of his day to come and help me do this, and he didn't ask for anything in return. It's just the kind of guy that I am. A lot of it stems from, you know, being raised by my grandmother and my mother. Two of the strongest women, I know everybody says about their mom and grandma, but two of the strongest women that I know, and my mom is too caring to a fault sometimes. She just loves everyone and tries to help so many people to a fault of her own. You know, like, she'll try to help her and she's like, no, like, I'm going to help you do, you know, what you're doing. So that stays with me, and that has stuck with me throughout all this time. And that's, you know, that's what I want to be remembered as.
I think you're definitely going to be remembered by that, bro. Like, I feel that type of energy from you, dude. Thank you so much for rolling up, man. I really appreciate your time, my guy.
I appreciate you having me, man. I'm glad we're both in all black too.
Hey, you feel me?
Wait, now we just found out too that you was like 10% black, man. So
hey, like, 10%, 23 and me, yeah.
Shout out to the 10%ers out there. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, it's dope, man. Yeah, like I said, man, appreciate you having me on. This is really cool to get up here and share some experiences and talk a little about myself, because I usually don't do that. So appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you being vulnerable, dog. And I hope to see a YouTube channel up and running pretty soon, man. I'm going to put you on the spot like that. I'm
working on it, man. I got to get over the fear of being in front of the camera and talking about bullshit. It's like, you know, who wants to listen to me talk? You know,
bro, trust. We're gonna run this video up. Watch. This is gonna be the most viewed video.
Here we go. All right, if we get 100,000, no, I'm just kidding.
I appreciate you, my guy.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Tell me if you wanna make a difference, you must first do something different. Try different levels, trying to be something special, trying to be something greater than what these haters projected. Grow to be something bigger and better than they expected. Pushing it to the limit, seem like the money infinite. No spending habits, used to not having to spending with.